Alright, hey guys, so today we're back with, another war video, finally. So, as you guys saw in the title, this will be my final war with SSX1, after Season Wars come in, and, I'll be joining Noon, which will have probably happened by the time this video is up, but not while I'm recording yet. So, yeah. And number two, I'm gonna start getting a little bit more serious about YouTube now. I wanna, try and make better quality videos and get on a more consistent schedule than I had previously. So yeah, that's what's gonna be happening over the next season or so. Hopefully it can go well and I can continue that. And yeah, so let's get into the war fights from today. So this war, we have to win this war to beat, to be able to stay in tier 1 for the multiplier for next season. And I think we have to win to get plat 1 as well. We weren't trying super hard this season. We were taking a fairly chill season, but we still wanted to stay in tier 1 and plat 1. So that was the goal with this season. And yeah, we did end up winning this war fairly comfortably. We got a fairly easy matchup, at least, for our standards. So yeah, this season off was definitely a nice break, not having to worry about war and stress over plans and all of that, and just be able to fairly easily do everything. And yeah, I was not commentating over the Tigra fight much, but this is a super simple fight with Doom. Just pay attention to Mystic. There's not really much that can go wrong other than eating specials, but I'm very comfortable at dexing her specials, so yeah, not much of a worrisome fight. And yeah, I mean, Doom's Doom. And yeah. Now, next up, I have Blackwood of Deadly Origin on Masochism. Again, pretty similar situation with this Blackwood of Deadly Origin. Not really much to say, but, Doom with MD5 and Mystic Power Racks, especially against a low health pool, always going to be fairly simple fights, and, Doom Shock Immune, so Blackwood of Deadly Origin really cannot do anything to Doom. Normally, you would want to use something like this for, like, a Corvus charge or whatever, but this war, there were so many Corvus charges around the map that we didn't need to use all of the Corvus charges, of course. So, yeah. So we just send Doom for this, really easy fight with Doom, of course, and we're gonna throw this L2, and BWDO ends up throwing her L1, which is a little annoying, just slows down the fight. But she's at 7% left, so I basically won the fight at this point, regardless. We throw this into the evade, because you can't really get punished from the evade with Doom. And yeah. I probably should have just thrown a heavy there, and it would have probably ended the fight. But yeah, we end the fight here anyway. Really easy fight with Doom. And yeah, now we're taking this 20-man thing with Doom. Again, Doom fights for days. And yeah, the basic issue with Mystic on this man thing is that he can nullify the Fury from your L3. So the strategy I like to go for this, and there are a couple strategies you can go for on this man thing, but the strategy I like to go for is I like to just purposefully dex and then hit in with the dex buff, or sometimes he'll just hit into your nullify, he'll hit into your block and nullify the dex buff, and that'll trigger Mystic. That happens here. So we just wait this out, we get to our L3, I still just go for the 5 hits to start the fight like I do with Unstoppable Armor, and yeah, I mean, this is the strategy I like to go for, and after this L3, you're pretty comfortable. You just want to keep making sure when you're throwing your L3, you've got a good amount of time on the Mystic timer. This man thing fight lines up really nicely, so I get the super easy fight, so there was nothing going on that was dangerous. Sometimes it doesn't go so smoothly, but yeah. really comfortable fight when you get that good RNG lining up. And next up, I have this Path 7 long shot on Spite. We're going to be using Reed with Defiance. We just want to be baiting those specials fairly often and trying to mix in combos with the heavies. This is due to the node where if you knock down, they get a form of kinetic transference. And this makes it so instead of the normal Reed parry heavy, you want to be mixing in some combos and eat a combo to start the fight off, of course. But yeah, I mean, the power gain from this is not a huge worry, just due to you're using Reed anyway. But if you can limit it, that is ideal. And yeah, I do this to counter his L1. I don't feel comfortable about countering it after an evade, but after a dex or a block of that L1, you can counter that L1 like that. And yeah, let's see, just keep good spacing, which helps on any fight where you're worried at all about spacing. And long shot is long shot, so sometimes spacing is a pretty big worry. So yeah, we got our first L2, and the fight's mostly locked down at this point. We have 80% Petrify, and now with our final L2, we're gonna have 120% Petrify, and the fight's completely locked down. And yeah, he does start getting Pure of Heart and stuff, which means there is a little bit of risk of his specials, but it's not the end of the world because, I mean, his L1 is very easy to dodge, and then he's never gonna get to his L2, really. And yeah, then we just have a Ghost on this node, which is a little weird, but we're just gonna doom it, of course. And there is actually some risk of Doom versus Ghost, because she will get the Furies from your heavy shocks. I've done this matchup a bunch, so I've known about the Furies from that, due to Ghost's immunity stuff. For some reason, when you throw Doom's heavies, it just triggers that. And she does have guaranteed crits, so, like, she can punish you, but, you know, it's Doom versus Ghost. You're not really having much worry here. And yeah, for this fight, I don't have a 200% Mystic on, so I'm just gonna be building to my L3, and going for a basic Doom cycle into L2, and that will end the fight. Yeah. Now we just need one more combo into our L3, we're going for Doom cycle, and the fight is over at this point. Yeah. Yeah, not much I can add on this. It's a Ghost. This is what happens when you're, in these lower war rating things. You match a bunch of easy defenses, and a lot of the fights just end up being super, super simple and all. And yeah, next up we have a Reed on 47. This is going to be, not a Reed on 47, a Mojo on 47, and I'm going to be using Reed. Rich Get Richer power is a little bit of a worry, especially with Aspect of Evolution. He's going to get quite a few bars of power. Normally, Reed is really great for Aspect of Evolution because he would stop that initial bar of powers really quick. And normally you do want to pop a PS1 here. I don't pop a PS1, and I pop an Invuln just because I have so many Invulns left. I do think PS1 is the better play, and I also would recommend popping a 200% Science on this, just so you can get up to your 3 debuffs faster, because when you do get to 3 debuffs, the fight becomes really easy, but before that, of course, there is a little bit of risk in this fight and all. And yeah, we're gonna completely ignore his prompts. I don't care about the prompts at all, because there's no danger of if he gets to 5 prompts or whatever, the power gain doesn't matter because we're using Reed. So we're just gonna play as comfortably as we can, ignore the prompts, and just focus purely on getting to 3 debuffs. That's the only goal here. We heavy counter that, because we had the spacing there. We don't have to counter that because we didn't have the spacing, of course, and yeah, we got our L1 passive up, which is going to let us build to our next L2 a little bit quicker, And here we've got our L2, and the fight is effectively over at this point because Mojo is going to be constantly losing power now. And yeah, pretty easy fight with Reed. And yeah, he's just given a little bit of passive AI, which is to be expected, but yeah. And then for my final fight in SSX, I am taking this Ihulk on 50 with Nick Fury. I turned on Suicides for this. It's the final war, so I'm going to want them for off-season anyway. And they do help for this fight. I popped a combat regen, and I popped some Reed debuffs to just make this fight as quick and easy as possible. And yeah, Nick Fury is going to end it very, very quickly. As you can see, with the debuff siphon up, our bleeds are ticking for 4k. And we're just doing so much damage in a single combo. And yeah, he did give a little bit of passive AI here. It's not as quick as I would like, but I mean, it's Nick Fury versus Ihulk. There's very little risk in this fight. And yeah, you're going to very comfortably bypass the second life. The reason this is placed is because of the regen boost node, which can make it so, you know, if Ihulk goes to his immortality, he's going to regen a lot more than usual, but just using pretty much any of the counters to his immortality, be it from DOT or from like AR, and you'll bypass Safeguard and the regen pretty comfortably, and it makes it so there's not much real worry for this fight. And yeah, just gonna let him bleed out now, and yeah, pretty solid season overall. Going for a chill season. Definitely happy with how this season went. It was a nice break, and I'm excited to join Noon next season and, you know, get back to making full war videos and everything. Should be a fun time.